Running today with the GTX 760. This is a 2013 video card with 4GB of VRAM, GDDR5. It's got 1152 shaders running at 1085 MHz on the core clock and 1502 MHz on the memory clock. 256 bits bus width, and we're gonna pair it up with this i7 7th gen with 4 cores and 8 threads. We need to jump in a couple of games and see how it holds. Let's go. Alright, let's start with Cyberpunk and see how this video card is holding. I got 2.2 GB of VRAM utilized, so this is very interesting because I get only 23 FPS on average. It's not okay because this is a video card that doesn't support Fidelity FX. So if I had support for DirectX 12, it would have been really nice and I had upscaling. But at the moment I put upscaling, Fidelity FX, the whole screen goes black. So GTX 750 Ti has support for DirectX 12, so it's got Fidelity FX option. 745, we tested it with 4GB of VRAM, Fidelity FX, but the 760 with 4GB of VRAM that's supposed to be better, it doesn't have. I just wanted to show you how Cyberpunk is working in this game, and you decide for yourself if you're interested on a video card like this. You know, overall performance, it's not okay. Averages are not okay. Everything gets kind of bad with this. This is 1080p with lowest quality, so there is no option for upscaling. But if you're interested on playing the game, this is what you get: 21 FPS. There is one thing left. Instead of 1080p, we're gonna put it to 1024. It's very interesting to see that this video card can give you 40-50 FPS on average. Now, in this case, you could, with this resolution, on average, you get 40 FPS. The minimals are the numbers that dictates how you set up the game. And in this case, you can actually see I got around 30 minimals. It's okay, you know, it's decent. You know, if it stays like this, I would say Cyberpunk is playable with 40-50 FPS like this, 23 on minimal. I will take this, you know. The system itself, it takes 11 GB of system RAM, 40-60% load on the CPU with 2 GB of VRAM utilized. So apparently the VRAM managed to come back, and this 4 GB model, it's kind of okay, you know, with this if you're interested on playing in low resolution Cyberpunk. Okay, so averages in GTA 5 online with this GTX 760, I got around 60-70 FPS on average. The game looks on normal details without any modification in frame scaling. Looks fantastic. 70-80% load on the GPU with 2 GB of VRAM utilized, and nearly 10 GB of system RAM with 60% load on the CPU. Everything is good and flat, you know. I like this system and how it's performing. So this video card is doing fantastic. But I took a fast car so I can see if I drop the FPS. And the moment I start driving, 58 FPS. Not okay. But it's holding, maybe it's holding 60 FPS on average. Let's see the minimals and how it's gonna hold there. But yeah, I definitely think it's important to modify that frame scale to 0.8 in order to get that VSync steady 60 FPS. So after playing around in GTA 5 around the map, you can actually see that the FPS it's holding pretty well, you know, around 60 FPS on average. But the VRAM is being utilized, 3.3 GB of VRAM in this case, and you can actually see the GPU is benefiting from this amount of VRAM. I like it. I like how the GPU is doing the job. You can actually see it's using nearly 200 watts consumption. It's decent for an old video card like this. I mean, it was designed for games like this, you know, for a game like GTA 5, you know, this GTX 760 with 4 GB of VRAM from EVGA, I think it's a fantastic video card, you know, if you manage to put it in the right conditions, you know. So yeah, I like it. If we're jumping in Farlight with 1080p and normal details, you can actually see that the game is doing a fantastic job here. It's working really nice with this video card and this system. It's exactly what I need from this computer. This video card is doing the job, the system is doing the job. You get 240 FPS on average. So if you have an HDMI or DisplayPort on the video card, you can actually max out that FPS for this video card and for the game. It's doing freaking nice, you know. So if you're interested on this, it's exactly what you need from a game, you know. to put on a video card like this. It's giving you 79 minimals, or nearly to 100 in some cases, depending on the zone. So the average is kind of good. The CPU is not fully loaded, 70% load in this case, because it's giving me a lot of FPS. So the CPU is being used with 7.4 gig of system RAM. I like it. I like how the computer is working with this game. In this case, you know, the temperature is good, the memory is good, everything is actually good with this game and this system with this CPU. On the GPU side, you can actually see it's using around 70-80% load on the video card with 1.2 gig of VRAM. If you're interested on more efficiency, I think you need to lower the FPS in this situation for lower wattage consumption. Overall performance is great in PUBG with 1080p and low details. You can actually see with 100% render scale, this video card can actually do the job. There is no problem on utilizing this computer and this system. This is actually a fantastic performance overall. Don't have good minimals here in the game, but is doing a fantastic work on the average, you know. On the system side, you can actually see it's using 12 gig of system RAM. It's actually a good performance from this computer, even though it's using around 50-60% load from the CPU. 51 degrees, so the CPU is doing okay. On the GPU side, you can actually see with 100% load, the core is on 55 degrees and utilizing 2.8 gig of VRAM. So I will say this is a decent performance from the video card, but do remember 1080p low details with 100% render scale. So overall performance is great. But if we're jumping in Crossout with medium details, you can actually see that GPU is doing a fantastic work, you know. I can actually utilize this system on medium details with 1080p. Nice quality, nice performance overall. I will say this is a decent performance, and I want to utilize this computer to play more Crossout because it's running really nice. The only thing I'm interested is, can I use more VRAM from this video card? Even though the core is maxed out, you can actually see it's barely reaching 2 gig of VRAM, you know, from this GPU. I mean, it's okay, you know, can't complain here in this occasion, you know, but I want to benefit from this. Overall, it's doing great, you know, on medium details. If you want more than 70 FPS, then you have to go on lower quality. That's how you get this game to offer you more FPS. Even like this, you can have a lot of fun, but if you have a high refresh monitor, you need to lower the quality. If you're okay with this, 60 FPS will be ideal, and you will lower the wattage, and I think the overall performance is great. But if we're jumping in Dota, you can actually see here with 1080p on maximum details, you can actually see that the video card is working really nice. It's got over 100 FPS on average. I like the performance, but hopefully the minimals will be much better, because here apparently it's not doing great, you know. Okay, it's working really nice, but the minimals, it's not okay. 13 minimals and 58 on the average. You can actually see that the performance, it's almost there with 11.1 gig of system RAM, and yeah, the CPU is holding very well, but the minimals are dropping below playable FPS, you know. The averages were okay, you know, 50, 55, nearly to 60 FPS on average, but I don't agree, you know, with that amount of FPS. I would really like this to be better. But if we're jumping in XDefiant, you can actually see that on low details you get this amount of FPS. I like it, you know. It's kind of cool to see this GPU, this system holding like this. If I get 100 FPS on average, I will take it, you know, because it's a decent performance. On the system side, you can actually see it's using 11.3 gig of system RAM. It's okay, it's utilizing the computer, but I don't want to say that it's not using some resource, you know. So you can actually see the CPU reaching nearly to 70% load on this occasion with nearly 50 degrees on the CPU. That's actually good. On the GPU side, maximum core load on the video card with 2.8 gig of VRAM used and 56 degrees on the video card. Good temperature, you know, good use of VRAM, but need to understand that this is not the best performance with 25 minimals. You can actually see Counter-Strike is doing a fantastic job here with this video card and this system. Kind of interesting performance because I put everything on high details with 1080p, and you can actually see it's utilizing the system. I wanted to see some details. Maybe I can load this video card, because but until now I didn't manage to see no game that is utilizing the system, you know, or the video card. In this case, you can see that it's got between 60 and 70 FPS on average. That is good, you know, from this computer. 11.2 gig of system RAM utilized from the computer with maximum 70% in some cases even 90% load on the CPU. On the GPU side, I got maximum core load with maximum 55 degrees on the temperature of the video card with 3.2 with 3.5 gig of VRAM utilized. Are you sure I need 4 gig for 60 FPS? Yeah, I doubt that, you know, but it's using the VRAM in this case. All right, so when it comes to 700 series, I really have to choose very carefully because it's a lot of problems that you have to dodge in between. So there's a couple of 700 series that are working with DirectX 12, and there's a couple of video cards that don't work with DirectX 12, you know. There's some of them, they have high specs, and some of them, they don't have high specs, but they are working with DirectX 12. And it's pissing me off because the whole 700 series is upside down, seriously. Do I recommend a GTX 760 with 4 gig of VRAM? No. Do I recommend a GTX 750 Ti with 2 gig of VRAM with DirectX 12 compatibility? Yes, I recommend that video card. You know why? Because this video card that I managed to test today barely managed to use 2 gig of VRAM in some condition in order to get playable FPS. I think that there is a better chance for you to get a faster core video card with better DirectX compatibility. Fortunately, this is bad because it's not compatible. In some games you can actually play with FSR, you know, in Fidelity FX in order to get more FPS, you know, upscaling and stuff like that. But if you don't have compatibility there, it's not worth it, you know. And if you're using, how should I say, Fidelity FX and low details, you get lots of FPS and lock it with VSync and you get the best opportunity. This video card today, if you find one cheap, fantastic. If you manage to get it for free, awesome. It's a good video card overall. You have to look for those games that work on this video card, but to buy it with money or because 4 gig of VRAM, yeah, I don't really think, you know. I want this video card to be on a lowest price point ever, you know, because of that DirectX compatibility. That's it. That's all I can say about the video card. Don't recommend it, seriously. But if you have any suggestion for this video card or for the system, leave a comment and I will see you very soon.